What's going on, beautiful people? It's Joe, aka the Nomad Investor, where dividends, freedom anywhere is the goal. And today I'm back with another portfolio update. If you are new here and you haven't already, make sure to smash that subscribe button and stay tuned as I'm going to be discussing quite a bit in this video because I did just make some changes to my portfolio. But if you are new here, if you could smash that like button, it would go a long way and help me with the algorithm. That way I can continue staying motivated to keep making these videos. So yeah, appreciate you all and let's dive right in. So first we have 876 subscribers as of the filming of this video. We have 27 videos on the channel. I'm currently filming the 28th video, which is also the 26th portfolio update. As always, the videos on this channel are for informational, entertainment, and educational purposes only. I am not a financial professional or advisor, and nothing here should be taken as financial, investment, or tax advice. Investing always carries risk, and those seeking financial advice should seek out a registered professional. Let's dive into the game plan and goal for growing my small portfolio from $0 to $1,000 per month in dividend income. I have two sources of income. One is remote work income, very consistent, very reliable, long-term client. The second one is business income. This one kind of goes and fluctuates up and down depending on the seasonality of things. But basically, I've committed to contributing $300 all the way to $1,000 plus per month into my Robinhood taxable brokerage. Now, I'm treating this brokerage like a business with the goal of aiming for 30% plus high yield. And the way that I'm aiming to achieve this is through primarily investing into high yield income ETFs, such as, but not limited to, WPAY, HOII, QDTE, XDTE, XPay, BLOX, and etc. And I'm aiming for a maximum of 5 positions, where I'm alternating between anchors and satellite ETFs. But I do have to share some news. I actually broke my rule, and I'll dive in a little bit later as to why. But I'm going to be taking the dividends that get paid out on a weekly basis or monthly, depending on the fund. And I'm going to either stack the dividends to purchase when the market is down or drip. Personally, right now, I'm just stacking the dividends because all my positions for the most part are up, and drip plus always compounding is the portfolio growth strategy. So basically, I'm going to be rinse and repeating this until the account hits $1,000 per month in dividend income. And again, none of this is financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Now, hopping into the dividend income milestones while growing my small portfolio. This is basically so I can celebrate the small wins leading up to the bigger goal along the way. Last month, we were able to reach the $100 a month and $200 a month milestone. This month, we are aiming for the $300 and $400 a month milestone. And you can pause this to see all the milestones leading up to the bigger goal at the end of this. Now I'm going to be breaking down my newest strategy. This is basically to hedge myself should we ever enter into a bear market anytime soon. But basically, I'm looking to diversify a bit and hold on some different positions that are more focused on growth. And these are the allocations for my new strategy and portfolio. 50% will be in high conviction, high yield ETFs, or as I like to call them, HCHY ETFs. These are ETFs that I believe aren't going anywhere, and this will allow me to continue increasing my share sizes for each position. There are positions like HOW, NVDW, WPAY, BLOX, and etc. The remaining 50% allocation will be divided up amongst 3 types of funds. The first 20% allocation will be towards growth ETFs. In my personal portfolio, I have chosen to go with VGT. The next 20% allocation will be into stable NAV index ETFs, such as QQQI, XPay, Eggy, and etc. But I personally have chosen to go with Eggy as of this moment. And the last 10% allocation will be into bonds, such as SGov or something equivalent. And this is basically for cash reserves. This allows me to still use margin without cash funds being used up first because it's sitting in SGov. This also gives me flexibility with paying off margin should my margin buffer reach a high risk percentage. Now, hopping over here into Robinhood, as you guys can see, the portfolio is currently sitting at $5,761.61. We are down 4.54% today so far pre-market. So $274.03 down. The buying power is currently sitting at $2,041.95. My margin buffer is sitting at 53.95%, which is a margin buffer of $3,150.12. My margin total has increased to $6,203.28. My margin used has also increased to $3,959.63. I do have $201.70 in pending orders. And yeah, let's dive into each of my positions. First things first, we have WPAY. WPAY is sitting at $52.17 a share. It's getting hit pretty brutally, I think, because of the earnings that are happening this week. So a lot of people are doing sell-offs. That's something to keep in mind because they're either taking profits or they're just kind of preparing just in case earnings are a miss instead of a beat. I know tomorrow is going to be Robinhood, I believe, and I know there's some other ones as well this week, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. The market value is $3,707.17. We are down $71.01 or negative 1.88%. My average cost per share is $53.17 a share. We have 71 shares, and my portfolio diversity is 38.13% with a 30% maintenance ratio. And I do have an order queued for 2 shares. I'm trying to buy at $51.99, but of course, this price is kind of going up from my limit price, so we shall see if this actually goes through or not. Moving on to HOOW, we are currently at $72.33 a share. The market value is $2,242.64. I'm up $127.25 or 6.02%. My average cost is $68.23 a share. We have 31 shares, and the portfolio diversity for this position is 23.07% with a maintenance ratio of 30%. And as you can see, we got paid a dividend today of $39.23. I like to call it today, even though it's technically pending, but we basically received $1.27 per share that we own. And since I own 31 shares, that's why I got paid out this amount. Next is NVDW. NVDW is currently sitting at $50.89 a share. My market value is $1,577.59. I'm up $169.30, which is also 12.02%. My average cost per share is $45.43. I have 31 shares, and my portfolio diversity for this one is 16.23% with a maintenance ratio of 30%. And if we hop down here, you can see I got paid $15.11, and that's because they paid out 48 cents a share, and I have 31 shares. So that's why that's that amount. And I'll add this to the sheet later. My newest position, I think a lot of people were very curious as to my last video where I kept saying I'm bullish on BLOX. I've been talking about BLOX on my channel for I think a little bit now, but I haven't actually gotten into a position with them yet. Well, I officially purchased some BLOX. BLOX is sitting at $24.43 a share. My current market value is $977.20. I'm down $37.76 or negative 3.72%. My average cost per share is $25.37. I have 40 shares and a 10.05% portfolio diversity with a maintenance ratio of 25%. And because it dipped below my average cost, as you guys know, I like to DCA. So I have 4 shares that I'm trying to purchase at a limit price of $24.43 queued up. Next, my other newest position, Eggy. I decided to choose this one over CWII and XPay after some recommendations from 2 people. Number 1, Eugene Vasquez. Shout out to you, my guy. You commented on one of my videos recommending it to me. So I took a little bit deeper dive and I liked what I saw. And then the second person that I got to give a shout out to is Alex at 9 to 5 to Freedom. He kept talking about Eggy for quite some time. He put it on my radar. And last but definitely not least, there's actually a subscriber. At one point, they commented on one of my videos earlier on, last month, I believe. And they told me about Eggy and some other funds from Nest Yield. It's at $41.16 a share. As you can see, it's doing pretty good after hours, but my market value is $823.20. I'm up $9.54 or up 1.17%. My average cost is $40.68 a share. I have 20 shares, and the portfolio diversity for this one is 8.47. I'm looking to increase this if possible, but of course, I'm going to be DCAing in, as you guys know, and my maintenance ratio is 25%. And then last but definitely not least, this is VGT. This is a new position that I've also added as well. And this is in alignment with my new strategy I told you guys about. It is currently sitting at $786. We are at a market value of $393.45. I'm down $6.55 or 1.64%. My average cost is $799.09. I have half a share, and my portfolio diversity is sitting at 4.05% for this one with a maintenance ratio of 25%. So if this reaches probably around a negative 3% today, I may possibly buy some more. But until then, I'm kind of cooling off on this. Now, diving into the investing journal, this is a journal that I log my portfolio since the inception of this account and me being on this journey. Anyways, this is the first entry that I did. It was back in August 19th of 2025. My net account value was sitting at $678.67 at the time. I actually had Ulti. That was one of my first positions, as well as XDTE and YBTC. And man, we've come a long way. We already talked about the net account value, but this is what the total is for the account, including the margin positions. So far this month, I've contributed $899. And these are the shares that I currently own for each of the positions. This is the margin. We've already covered that. And here is the dividends. So for November so far, for this week, we have received $54.34. Now, if I bought BLOX on Friday instead of yesterday, I would have gotten paid a BLOX dividend, but I didn't. So it is what it is. And next week, I will receive whatever they decide to give out over there at X Funds. I'm still looking forward, I believe, this week to getting paid by WPAY. And that's about it pretty much for this week. And let's see how much WPAY pays us. Hopping into the dividend sheet, this is the share price that was last logged at the market close. So just keep that in mind. So that's why some of these numbers aren't going to be completely accurate. But if you've been following my channel, you know I like to pay attention to the market return and total return. So for HOW, the total percentage that it has logged on here for now is 14.89%. For WPAY, it's 5.22%. For NVDW, it's 15.74%. For BLOX, it's 0.16%. For VGT, it's 0.39%. For Eggy, it's 0.05%. Now, just for awareness sake and transparency, the total return includes dividends that were paid out. That's why it's going to look completely different from this number. Excluding, of course, right now, BLOX, VGT, and Eggy. I haven't received any dividends yet for these positions. So for HOW, the last market return that it logged on the sheet is 9.51%. For WPAY, 1.52%. For NVDW, 13.76%. For BLOX, 0.16%. For VGT, negative 0.39%. And for Eggy, 0.05%. Now let's dive into the dividend log. We do need to log these dividends for HOW. And let's do that now. So we've added that for November. And then we also are working on NVDW. So let's add that in there. It's our first dividend payout of the month. So far, since holding these positions, we've received $153.34 from HOW, $42.91 from NVDW. And again, tomorrow we're going to get paid out that dividend from WPAY. But so far, we've received $139.81 in dividends from WPAY. Now, if we hop over to the side here, we have $54.34 for this month in dividends paid out so far. But for the year, we are at $370.65 in dividends. I believe I need to hit at least $150 a week, roughly, to qualify to reaching that $300 a month goal, or actually, I think less than that. Let's pull up the handy dandy calculator. So if I wanted to achieve a $300 a month dividend, divide that by 4, correction, $75 in dividends every single week. I think with my new position in BLOX, we could exceed this. Of course, Eggy is going to pay us at the end of the month, I believe. We shall see also if we can exceed that. But if I wanted to reach $400, I believe that's $100 a week. So let's see if we can reach that. I have no idea. It also depends on the market conditions, the capital that I'm able to deploy, and what have you. Now, hopping into X, unfortunately, my internet is glitching right now. All is well and okay for the most part, but this is my X account. If you guys want to give me a follow, I would really appreciate that. I'm trying to get to 100 followers by the end of November. So if you guys could contribute to that, that would mean so much to me. It's not loading, but I do tend to put some updates whenever I'm purchasing things. But you can follow me at I'm Nomad Investor on X. And yeah, I appreciate that. Hopping into this post by Beat the Bots, it says the weekly pay lineup gets bigger as 5 new REX growth and income ETFs launch tomorrow. The first one is CWII, which is CWII. The second one is Robinhood, which is HOII. The third one is Eli Lilly, which is LLII. The fourth one is Palantir, which is PLTI. And the last one is Walmart, which is WMTI. Each targets 1.25x exposure, with partial call writing for weekly income. Now, this is interesting. I think they're trying to compete here with Roundhill because Roundhill does 1.2x, not 1.25, but they don't do any partial call writing for weekly income. They only do swaps. So this is really interesting. And I'm probably going to take a look at some of the funds once they launch, especially HOII, possibly look into CoreWeave and PLTI. And this is posted directly from REX Shares. And it says in a little bit more depth, it says REX is expanding its growth and income ETF suite with 5 new single stock covered call ETFs designed to deliver amplified exposure and weekly income potential. Each fund seeks approximately 1.25x daily exposure to its underlying stock and uses a partial call writing strategy to generate weekly distributions while maintaining upside potential if the stock rallies. Now that is incredible. I'm not gonna lie, REX has literally just blown my mind out of the park. I thought it couldn't get any better than what Roundhill has been doing with their weekly pay single stock ETFs. But this is like adding icing to the cake. Next, we have from my guy, Eugen Vasquez. He wrote, data from CoinGlass showed that more than 1.25 billion in leveraged future positions across cryptocurrencies were wiped out in the past 24 hours, marking the biggest wave of liquidations in weeks. So Bitcoin price today slides below 105K after 1.3 billion crypto liquidation wave. That's 2 times in like a little over a month, under a month. It's crazy. But yeah, this is what's going on in crypto. Moving on to this post by Roundhill. Their WPAY distribution announcement is 56 cents a share. Now, personally, that is a little bit lower than it has been more recently. However, I'm more than happy with this. As I've said in previous videos on my channel, if it is above 50 cents a share, I am beyond happy. I will continue to be happy, and I have no complaints whatsoever. Also, it's done a pretty good job at holding the NAV. Of course, it is a somewhat volatile fund to funds ETF because it's holding 1.2x exposure from their weekly pay funds. But I'm really looking forward to this payout. Let's see if I can kind of predict roughly. I have like 71 shares of this. So let's just say 71 times that by 0.56. Let's do the 7709 just for the sake of things. So it looks like I could expect to get around a $40.30 dividend payout. And if we were to add that to the dividends of this week so far, we would get $94.64 in dividends this week. Guys, this is actually crazy. That would mean we were this freaking close to hitting $100 this week. And that means that we're this much closer to potentially, as long as dividends keep being high, reaching that $400 a month goal. Wow. But regardless, we will for sure smash this $300 a month milestone this month. Hopping into this next post by Pay Me in Dividends, aka David. He said, here's a snapshot of my high yield income portfolio, WPAY, BLOX, CWII, and BTCI. He's got a solid lineup. He's actually got very manageable portfolio here. He said, keeping it extremely simple while covering all bases. The first 3 ETFs pay weekly while BTCI pays monthly. QQQI will be reintroduced to the portfolio in the future. Read my thoughts below. WPAY provides leverage with uncapped upside. CWII provides exposure to big name semiconductors. BLOX provides a variation of crypto exposure. BTCI provides tax-friendly yield on HODL while capturing a portion of its upside, and all dividends are reinvested manually. I like what David's doing here. Now, diving back into the portfolio, you guys saw I have now 6 positions. This is breaking the rule that I have in my game plan that I shared earlier. And so I am considering trimming down one of my positions. And I'm not sure which one yet. What do you guys think? Which position should I trim and why? Comment down below. But I'll be honest with you guys, I'm probably going to end up having to trim my VGT. I'm not 100% sure yet. I love the fund. However, considering that I don't own that much of it and my market value for it isn't that high as well, and I know part of my new strategy is to hold positions in these types of funds, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I just change my max positions, or should I just keep the max positions with regards to high yield income weekly paying ETFs? I don't know. What do you guys think? I guess VGT doesn't really fall into the same category as the rest of this. So should I decrease the size of my portfolio? because I broke my rule? Should I keep the positions I currently have and continue building that to kind of be in alignment in case we do enter a bear market? I mean, like, it could happen. We don't know, right? The government's still shut down. Tariffs are still kind of uncertain in a way. There's a lot of uncertainty regarding the CPI and stagflation and all this stuff. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I would love to hear your thoughts and feedback. Anyways, with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's portfolio update. Again, if you aren't already and you're new here, please make sure to smash the subscribe button. And for everyone else, make sure to smash that like button. It really does help and go a long way, especially with this algorithm that we have here on this platform. But with all that being said, if you have any thoughts, comments, suggestions, or feedback, comment them down below. And until next time, guys, peace.